Skip,
Yes,
how
it was.
impressive was this American team?
Going into this World Cup, the prevailing question was, has the rest of the world caught up to the U.S. women?
Whatever.
Has France caught up? Has England caught up? And the resounding answer was no! Because this team was clearly the best in all the matches that I watched.
Yep.
And they stood up to incredible pressure to prove once again yesterday they were the best.
And that's what makes it so unbelievable what they did, is because they were the overwhelming favorites. And to do it in the fashion in which they never trail. Megan Rapinoe was unbelievable, but Skip, in the first half, that Dutch goalie, that score really should have been, it should have been over in the first half. But she was standing on her head. She was standing on her head, and you know what? I was like, yeah, we got this one. Once we got that first goal, Skip, I said, the dam about to crack.
Really?
And then here come the water. And then like a couple of minutes later, left-footed kick into the net, and we celebrated.
That was it?
Yeah. Megan Rapinoe faked out, though, because the 2 penalty kicks the other day, she went lower left. And the Dutch goalie thought she was going to go lower left again. She like, go to the right.
Well, at least you had that to root for this weekend.
I got a lot to root for. There's a lot of positives going on in my life.
Man, it's tough when you have a target on your back. Whether the U.S. women or Shannon after this weekend. All right, let's get back to the NBA. Kawhi Leonard became the latest superstar who chose not to join LeBron. Remember last year, Paul George looked like he was coming to the Lakers, but then, nah, he spurned them as well. Sean Powell of NBA.com wrote this. The player left scratching his head today is LeBron. Yes, LeBron did at least get Davis, but Davis was already part of LeBron's inner circle as a client of Clutch Sports. And so to summarize, LeBron never managed to get free agents to Cleveland unless you count his aging pal Dwayne Wade. And the same now goes for the Lakers. Tough criticism.
Shannon.
What do you think all this says about LeBron?
I think this is unfair about LeBron, because here's the thing. He's in an unwinnable situation. If LeBron tries to recruit, he's weak for trying to recruit the great players. If he doesn't get anyone, no one wants to play with him. So how does he win? Hold on, with Kevin, so...
I guess he's in a lose-lose situation.
He really is, Skip, because guess what happened? He got a Kevin Love to come to Cleveland. He got Kevin Love to do the exact same thing that Paul George did.
You have little to no respect for Kevin Love.
That's neither here nor there, but hold on. Was Kevin Love was an all-NBA player, Skip. He was 26 and 14.
Yeah, and he'd missed the playoffs all 6 years in Minnesota. Go ahead.
That was the case. But was he not a great player, though, Skip?
I wouldn't go great. He's a very good player.
He was a very good player.
Yeah.
He was a very, very good player. And LeBron got him to come to Cleveland. LeBron helped build those teams in Miami. Ray Allen came. So why do you think Ray Allen came down there? He came down there for what? Shane Battier, why did he come down there? Why did D. Wade and Chris Bosh want to pair together? Was that because if LeBron was a bum, would D. Wade and Chris Bosh wanted to pair up in Miami? No. It's just it just seems to me that whenever LeBron does something, now he's doing the exact same thing. So is Kawhi weak for recruiting Paul George? No. No, it was great. It was great. It was LeBron went to LA with nobody. He didn't recruit anybody. Said, I'm going to trust Magic. Magic's going to get it done. Kawhi goes out and recruits Paul George. And everybody's talking about, boy, look at the great job he did. Nobody's saying Kawhi is weak for recruiting. Only LeBron James get labeled as weak for recruiting players. And when things don't go out, he can't get anybody. So how does he win, Skip? He can't.
He needs help. He just needs a lot of help.
So what does Kawhi need? Why didn't Kawhi go to the Clippers by himself? If Kawhi's that dog, everybody say he's the best player. He's the new face of the NBA.
I never said he was that dog.
Okay, but you're hearing that too.
All right.
You're hearing that. You give you credit. You've been on the island. Kawhi's persona non grata to you. But everybody said Kawhi's that dog. Kawhi swings the balance of power. Why didn't the hell he take his ass to the Clippers by himself? Oh, but nobody will say a word about Kawhi Leonard recruiting. But let LeBron James. All Kawhi Leonard did was the exact same thing LeBron James did. He wanted Anthony Davis. Now, this could have been handled a lot better because Dale Demps could have did what David Griffin did. The same pieces was on the table.
Right.
And Dale Demps said no. Griffin comes in, boom, makes the deal. What's the difference? Paul George went to Sam Preston, says, I want out. Get what you can. They make the deal happen. Paul George is not criticized. Anthony Davis was. Kawhi Leonard is not criticized. LeBron James is. I just don't get it. I just believe he's in an unwinnable situation no matter what he does. But I can promise you one thing, the old LeBron James I know ain't scratching his head, and he got a head full of hair to scratch, too.
He does?
Do the hair like this.
Here and there.
Ain't no here and there. You got a head full of hair.
I think it's here and there.
No, it's not.
It might have some help here and there. I would let you off the hook for this if you didn't repeatedly attempt the blasphemy that is your position that LeBron James is the GOAT. If you just told me he was the second best player ever, I would let you off this hook. But you continue to tell me he's better than that guy up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that guy, Michael Jordan, didn't want to recruit anybody. You said, well, they drafted Scottie Pippen. Okay, so they drafted somebody for him, but he never recruited anybody. But if he had, trust me on this, whoever's shoulder he had tapped, they would run to Chicago to play with him.
Tapped on Rodman's shoulder.
Okay, well, kind of he did, kind of a little bit. But there are a lot of shoulders he wanted to tap that Jerry Krause said no to because we know Michael has a hard time picking players, right? Because we've seen
that, we see that now.
Okay, right? And I remember once upon a time he wanted Al Wood. I used to call him Balsa Wood because he hit and miss. But again, he wanted all of his North Carolina cronies in Chicago. And a lot of times Jerry Krause, to his credit, said, no, that won't work for us. But the point was, it wasn't the same era. It wasn't rampant recruiting of co-stars.
And free agency didn't move. Free agency was nothing like this.
Okay, so now we're in a new era. But if Michael had played in this era and he had decided to play the game the way everybody else is playing the game to compete against the super teams that were joining forces all around him, whoever he said, you, and you, they would come to him.
We don't know that for certain, Skip. It's easy to speculate that.
Well, who wouldn't want to play with him?
Well, how did it work out for Kobe? Well, Kobe is the closest thing to Michael Jordan. How many guys did Kobe tap on their shoulder and came to the Lakers? Name one guy that Kobe got in free agency in 20 years.
Kobe was difficult to play with. I don't think Michael was difficult to play with at all. He was the ultimate leader.
The man punching people in the face, Skip.
Okay, but that worked. It worked. He motivated by fear. You don't play for me, I'll punch you in the jaw. Huh?
Man, Skip, baby, you ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. We jumped in Will Perdue's face. He was just swinging on everybody. And you talking about he's easy to play with.
Did you ever, Will Perdue from Vanderbilt, by the way?
Yeah, swung on him.
Yeah, he did. Well, Stevie Kerr. But the point is, did you ever hear one of those ex-teammates say, I hated playing with Michael Jordan? I've never heard a peep of that.
Well, nobody said they hated playing with Bron.
It's just like with Tom Brady. I've never heard one ex-teammate say, I hated him, or he was a phony, or he was disingenuous, or whatever. Right. Some of the stuff that you say that he is.
The book coming out, but don't worry about it.
Okay, all right, there's a book coming out that says shoe, okay? So here we have, we actually started with Kyrie saying, I just can't take the drama anymore. I want out of here. For whatever reason, he just said, I can't take the drama king's drama. I'm worn out from it. And then we had Paul George. We had Magic. Remember going on Jimmy Kimmel doing the wink that he got in trouble for when he asked about Paul George because he thought it was a done deal.
Well, it might be a bigger indictment on Magic. Because who was Magic? Who did Magic talk to Kyrie? He talked to Paul George, and he talked to Kawhi, and both of them left. So it might be a bigger indictment on Magic Johnson because
I will give you some of that.
Because you said LeBron was coming here regardless, and he just wanted to say hello to Magic Johnson.
LeBron knocked on Magic's door. It really wasn't vice versa.
Yeah.
It was like Peyton going to Denver. It's just like I'm just going to do this, whether you like it or not, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we had Kyrie first, and then we had Paul George just say, I'm from there, but I just can't take the drama. I don't want to try to share the stage because it's high pressure. It's hot spotlights. It's hard, man. It's hard to be the second to LeBron.
Well, plus it's also hard, Skip. When you go there, when you play with LeBron, you know what the expectations are. And Paul George is about to realize that because now the expectations is championships. Paul George never played with the expectations of championship. I don't care what anybody tells you. Nobody thought that the OKC Thunder were serious title contenders with Paul George, Steven Adams, and Russ. Nobody thought that. And everybody keeps talking about this toxicity, but you think about it. Kyrie says, I didn't want to play in this environment, and he went and recreated the very thing that he left in Cleveland. He recreated that. Look at KD. KD's situation, KG's got to find out what's going to make him happy inside, and then we can move on from there. But that's not about playing with somebody. But Skip, LeBron says, okay, Everybody, and I hear all these old guys, LeBron's out there recruiting. LeBron is doing this. Okay, how much help does he need? He want all the good players. He weak. I would have never done that. Larry Bird had never done that. Magic would have never done that. Okay, now he doesn't get them. Nobody wants to play with it. What that dang? So how does he win? Just tell us, how does he win?
To your first point, Magic obviously was a much better player, not much better, but a better player than Jerry West was.
Yes, yes.
But listen, Jerry West, as a GM,
I want to know what he telling
team builder.
What he telling him, Skip?
Whoa.
He telling him something.
Yeah.
He ain't telling me, I mean, come on now.
Hey, I want Jerry West recruiting for my team as opposed to Magic recruiting for the Lakers.
And Steve Ballmer already done told him he going to hook him up. When you got $41 billion, Skip, you got tentacles that you can convince players to do things that other owners can't.
I'm going to give you this much. What have I called Paul George? I've called him George Paul because in Indiana, when he wanted to be the man, he'd turn into George Paul, right?
Right.
He was not a guy you could trust in the clutch. And I thought he needed to be a nice number 2 to somebody, and now he's the number 2 to literally number 2.
Well, I thought Russ did a great job of conceding some of it to him. Russ still took some ill-advised shots, but I still believe that Paul George, he conceded a lot because Russ was not, I mean, it dropped from 32 to 28. Now he was down to like a little over 20 points a game, Skip. So he took fewer shots, and he conceded some of the offense and power to Paul George.
And I'm also going to give you this. Number 2 was playing in the shadows in Toronto because nobody saw that coming. Nobody expected it. Nobody predicted it. And they kind of just crept up on the NBA, on the Eastern Conference playoffs. And then he makes the luckiest shot in the history of the playoffs. And all of a sudden, wait a second, they've advanced to Milwaukee. And then Giannis just gets exposed. And all of a sudden, wait a second, they're in the NBA Finals. And then Klay pulls his hamstring, and then KD ruptures, and Klay wrecks his knee. Wait a second. Toronto just won the NBA championship, so I'm going to give you this. He wanted no part of LeBron's shadow because he casts a long shadow, and it is tough. And that guy, number 2, has never been built to be in the spotlight. He was so lucky, so blessed to get drafted by the Spurs because he had Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, and he could learn in their shadow, right?
Yeah, well, he's about to find out, Skip, what expectations are due. Because now the expectations is what? That's a title-contending team, the Clippers.
Okay, but they're clearly the stepchild in L.A.
Oh, it will be.
Okay, so they share a building with the team, and every jersey up in the rafters belongs to the Lakers.
Exactly.
And every statue outside the Staples Center is a Laker.
Right.
There's nothing. The Clippers have nothing. So I don't know that the expectations are through the Staples.
They're the favorite.
Well,
they're the favorite to win the title.
Yeah, okay. So I'm good with that if you want.
So that should tell them something, Skip. You can't say you own the home if you live in somebody's home and you paying rent. They own it. You just a tenant. Well, and don't you forget that, Clippers.
I think they're going to try to buy Staples.
They ain't trying to buy nothing. It ain't for sale. I don't care how much money you got, Steve Ballmer. Build your own.
Fighting words. I do have to point out.
They should build their own arena. They just should.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Build it out there in wherever they play, over there, the marina. They practice in the marina. Playa Vista. Build
it out on the ocean.
Vista. Build it wherever you want to. You got money.
One thing that was different about the AD trade request, that was public, whereas Paul George worked it out behind the scenes.
Well, we tried to work it out behind the scenes. Dale Demps leaked that. Dale Demps bumping his gums. Now where is he, Skip?
Where is he now? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that one either, actually. All right. So how shocking was Kawhi's move to the Clippers? These two are going to break it down with Chris Broussard up next.